Today's topic is positive guidance. We're going to look at all kinds of encouragement strategies to help us deal with those challenging behaviors in our classroom. You're probably familiar with the terrible twos, or have had a 4-year-old who's going on 14. Right now in our home, we're dealing with a 3-nager. We've all been there, whether at home or at school. Early childhood is a beautiful thing, but it can also come with some pretty challenging behaviors. Challenging behavior isn't only difficult for us as a teacher. It also makes it hard for children to learn. It's disruptive and it's distracting. It affects the children who are watching as well as the child involved. It can even lead to social problems later in life. Young children especially face challenges in behavior. They're still learning about their growing bodies, they're trying to regulate their behavior, they're becoming more aware of the people around them, and even of their own feelings and emotions. As a teacher, it's our job to help guide children as they learn how to deal with these different emotions. First, we'll look at the differences between discipline and punishment. Discipline is focused more on correcting the behavior. It offers training that educates the child in an effort to prevent the behavior from continuing to happen. Punishment, on the other hand, is focused more on shaming the child. It rarely corrects the behavior and instead is hurtful, arbitrary, and completely unrelated to the circumstances. According to Dr. Becky Bailey, punishing children for their wrongdoings will not create change, just a need for more punishment. In the same way, discipline systems that use bribes or rewards are not promoting problem solving. They are based on external motivation, whether it be stickers or candy. Rather, we need to focus on internal motivation, the innate desire to do the right thing simply because it's the right thing to do. The issue with external motivation is that children can grow to become dependent on them. Reward systems are known to produce fast but fleeting results. That means you're continually going to have to keep upping the ante. You can bribe a child to not hit anyone else by rewarding them with a cookie every hour they keep their hands to themselves. But what happens when you run out of cookies or the child gets full? What happens when the other children see that child getting rewards? They're going to want in on some of that action. And soon you'll have a whole classroom of hitters or cookie eaters. It's a vicious cycle that can never be beaten. So avoid the bribes and focus on creating a caring community of learners. Reward systems and punitive punishment are so focused on what not to do that they fail to teach a child what they should do. Children who are constantly in trouble start to develop a negative self-image. This can follow them not only through the school years, but into adulthood. Have you ever met an adult who thinks everything is their fault? That they're just a complete failure? They can never do anything right. We want to raise up a generation of problem solvers. And in order to do that, we need to find ways to encourage children to make the right decisions. We can't control anyone, but we can help guide them in the right way. Positive guidance builds trust between teachers and their children. It helps develop children's social and emotional skills. It teaches them how to problem solve and how to regulate through consistency. It encourages independence as children become responsible for their own behavior. It helps develop empathy as children start to reflect on their peers' point of view. And it's beneficial not only for the child you're redirecting, but also for the whole group. Positive guidance builds self-esteem, gives confidence, and respects children, while punishment makes them feel worthless, embarrassed, and ashamed. Positive guidance is empowering, while punishment is intimidating. Positive guidance tries to get down to the root cause of the behavior in the first place. It focuses on prevention rather than vindication. With positive guidance, we offer children developmentally appropriate choices. When young children are given choices, they're given power over their own behavior and the chance to build self-regulation. Autonomy promotes independence. With positive guidance, we use natural consequences when appropriate. And we design logical consequences that help a child learn from their mistakes. We coach children and support them in resolving conflicts. And we always focus on the positive, even when we're dealing with challenging behaviors. We observe our children's behavior, and we acknowledge them both individually and in front of the whole group when they're doing something great. You're probably wondering, so where does timeout fall into this equation? Unfortunately, timeout has been overused over the years. It's an isolating form of discipline, and it leaves the child feeling embarrassed. The truth is, they don't spend that time thinking about what they've done wrong. In fact, they're most likely sitting there plotting their revenge for the kids who tattled on them. While timeout has been known to be ineffective, there are some alternatives that we can consider as teachers. For example, if a child is misbehaving during an activity, you can talk to them and say, if you continue with this disruptive behavior, you'll have to leave this activity and try something else. You can also offer a child the chance for time away. Time away is proactive rather than reactive. It gives children power over their own behavior. For example, if a child has become really upset, they can take themselves and go sit quietly in the corner of the room and do calming activities. They can read a book or draw a picture or play with sand and water. And they only return to the group once they feel ready and like they have control over their body. You can also try bringing children in close. This is sometimes referred to as anti-timeout. When a child is misbehaving, you offer them a hug and a nice place to cool down and decompress. This lets them know that they are safe and loved, and that the behavior is unwanted, but not the child. Changing behavior takes time, and you probably won't succeed the first time you try it. It takes time for reasons to sink in and for children to develop self-control. And children sometimes forget. They need reminders. The more and more you practice with these methods, the deeper connections you will make with a child and their ability to understand. Be aware of the differences between praise and encouragement. Praise focuses on perfection, the final product. Encouragement focuses on their effort and their improvement, the progress they've made over time. Praise suggests that children are only behaving for you, but encouragement invites children to make good choices for their own good. When you encourage a child, you simply describe what you see. You covered that whole paper in green. You have a little turtle on your shirt. I bet those shoes go fast. Praise, on the other hand, would say, your picture is beautiful, or I love your new shoes. It's focused on your approval. When we encourage a child, we focus on their effort, not the product. You worked so hard on that puzzle, and now you've completed it. How do you feel about that? When you encourage a child, you point out the progress that they've made. I saw you hopping on one foot today. I remember when you couldn't do that. You give control back to the child. Are you happy with the way your picture turned out? When we encourage a child, we notice their helpful acts. You held the door open so all your friends could come in and come to Morning Circle. That was really helpful. The more you notice children being helpful, the more helpful they will become. And you get more of what you notice, so start noticing. According to Dr. Becky Bailey, connections on the outside help build connections on the inside. We build these connections with children through our eye contact, our presence, and our touch. Children aren't just looking for our attention, they're looking for a connection with us. Let children know that they matter, that they're loved, that they're a valuable part of your classroom. The connections you make with them now will last them a lifetime.